Girls could get everything.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of Champagne Confessions. I'm Italy Murphy.
I'm Kate Spice.
And I'm Kate King.
What's up, y'all?
It's Jasmine.
So introduce yourself, Jasmine.
Hello, I'm Jasmine Brooks. I'm from South Carolina originally, but I live here in Raleigh, and I've been in the nightclub for the LGBT community for about 20 plus years.
Yeah.
All right, so the first question, right?
Right, let's go.
Because this is going to be a long going, because like each question, I'm pretty sure everybody has a lot to say. All right, so my question is, what is the terminology of gay?
So what does it mean to be gay?
What does it mean to be gay?
Okay.
I think it just means this: you're liking the same sex.
Okay,
Okay.
That's simple.
that is simple.
Yes.
But I want to elaborate on this because, just for instance, you have Dwayne's daughter that has Dwayne Wade, yes, that came out to be trans. All right, now with her being at an early age, okay, because I can speak for myself. I mean, I've always been a tomboy. My mom tried to put a dress on me. She tried to do my hair with barrettes. And I just was
Not
like...
barrettes, though.
No, the barrettes. The ones with the balls.
I know what you're talking about, the balapala.
Yeah.
That's what they call them.
The big one.
Yeah, the big one. So, like, when she would dress me, I mean, I think she knew that, like, I did not like it. And I didn't know what gay was. I didn't know anything about it. I just knew I was a tomboy. Everything, like, even Christmas. I wanted toy trucks. I didn't want Barbie dolls. Mm-hmm. I wanted a basketball. I wanted things like that. So, and that's another topic that we're going to talk about, if you are born gay. That can be a topic as well. But I do want to just elaborate on, when do you think that, Jasmine, you answered the question, okay? Same sex. And I do feel like, somebody might look at someone at a younger age and then they'd be like, oh, well, that person's gay, but technically not, just because they want to be trans. That's a difficult question, right?
That is a different
Okay.
question.
Well, how do you feel about that?
Well, with trans, just because you're trans, that doesn't mean that you do like, I guess, the same sex or whatever. But that's a
Okay,
medical-
so for our audience that's paying attention, because a lot of them may not be as knowledgeable as we are, like we have, had the luxury of having conversations with you, and obviously, she's my best friend and she's in the LGBT community, so I've had the knowledge to be able to know what trans is. Can you tell us or tell the audience what trans is so they'll know?
Trans is living as what you feel.
Okay.
Some people are born with the physical male, but they feel female inside. So they have surgeries or alterations
Yeah.
of the body parts,
So you're basically
to make
saying
them feel.
people can be born with like male parts, but they inside of their body, their soul, they feel like they're a woman.
A woman, yes.
Or vice versa.
Or vice versa, yes.
Okay. Now that's kind of gotta be hard, like growing up as either male or female, but feeling on the inside that you're somebody else. Like that's gotta be extremely hard.
And that's the whole feeling with me growing up as being gay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a male, but I do drag. So
Okay.
there's a difference between drag and transgender.
Okay, tell us the difference between drag and transgender.
Now we
'cause-
can get the
I love it.
So I do drag, which
Okay.
is I'm a male all day, 24/7. But when it's down to performing, I dress up as a female
Okay.
or illusionist.
And you be serving, honey. Okay?
Well, thank
You
you.
be serving.
But all gay people
Do
that
not.
do not do drag.
No.
There are some straight people that do drag.
Yeah.
I love it.
Really?
There are straight people that do drag just
didn't know
for it's a lot of money involved. So
Okay.
I've seen straight guys do female illusions and stuff like that. You have a lot of them in Las Vegas that do the Lacage shows.
Mm-hmm.
And then you do have, you know, people that do it just for the sexual part of it.
Okay, so how did you get into drag? And how did you feel comfortable enough to be like, hey, this is what I want to do?
I was in college, and me and my best friend, we went to a gay club.
Okay.
And one of our close friends was a drag queen, and we used to watch her get ready. And he dared me to do a talent show. I did the talent show, and I won.
Oh.
So this was at the club in Columbia called Metropolis.
Okay.
Then I didn't do it no more for about a year. Then I moved to Durham. There was a club called Visions.
I went to Visions before too.
I knew the owner.
Because of her.
And she asked me would I do a show. I did the show. And I was pretty good at it. And I made a lot of money in 3 minutes. So I was just like, okay, let's do it. Let's keep
I know, because
going.
every time I go to the club and you in there, you take all my money. All
Well,
money.
thank you. But yes, so that's how I kind of got started. I did a talent show, and it went from there.
So you gave us simple definition. It's very simple. Somebody who likes the same sex. So I like the opposite sex. Let's say I decide one day I want to try the same sex. And what do I become, or what am I?
Just a trisexual.
Trisexual. So see, me not knowing, I would think at that point I had a bisexual experience.
Yeah, but you're trying it.
Okay.
So bisexual would be considered somebody
And
that
somebody
actually likes both.
Consistently
Like both.
does it.
Consistently
Okay.
does it, yes.
Okay.
Trisexual is somebody that's always trying, you know, not always trying, but you're trying.
Wants to try different things,
You know.
okay.
I mean, y'all can't tell me girls ain't never had a little, you know.
I mean, to be completely honest, every girl's gonna lie about it probably, but every girl has wondered. So have you ever heard of bi-curious?
Mm-hmm.
So I've heard of like women being bi-curious, because if any woman ever tells you that she has not had the what's the word I'm looking for? She's never had the thought in her mind of like what it would be like to be with another woman, she's lying. Because I mean, I feel like everybody.
So you had a thought of being with a woman.
Why you put me on the spot?
Hey,
Mind your business. My business. Don't do that.
I'm gonna ask you guys, like based on what Italy said, chime in and let us know if you're female. Have you ever thought about? Just chime in, put a thumbs up, whatever you want to do. If you thought about being with a female.
But I kind of feel like it's so much more common because of like the rap videos and you know, the songs like I like girls that like girls. Like it's so common for women to like women, but when it comes to males liking males, like I want to ask you, like, why do you feel like you guys get such a hard time about that?
Because I think the heterosexual world looks at gay as being so feminine and so just demasculating.
Okay.
And I know bodybuilders, I know guys that are boxers, I know guys that play football. As you can see, you know, in the football league, there's some football players that are coming out, basketball players. I know a whole lot of people that, you know, and you could just look at them and you wouldn't even think
That they're right.
supposed to think, you know, but everybody wants to put a label on something, and you really can't do that.
Right.
You know? I shouldn't say this, but in the gay world, they're all different aspects or all different types of guys. You know, there's feminine guys, there's masculine guys, there's half femme. You know, some of them want to be femme one day, some of them be masculine. You know, so you really don't know.
Right.
And I just feel like, you know, you should put labels on things.
So how did you know, like, so obviously you don't like to put a label on what you consider yourself, but how did you know what you were? Is it because you knew what you liked? You knew, like, how you liked to...
I knew what I liked at an early age. I both had, you know, a lot of people want to say, oh, he was hanging around with his mama and da-da-da. I had both parents. As my cousin said, we were the Cosby family.
I'm glad you said that, because people a lot of the times attribute people being gay to the fact that they only have one parent in the home, like they're only around their mom, and that's not true.
I didn't know that.
I've had my father, straight man, football, basketball, baseball. He was just a sports fanatic.
Yeah.
You know, he was in the army.
Like a manly man.
He was a manly man.
Yeah.
He was military. You know, everything.
So remember this, because when we get to that question about is it a choice or all that you say, I want to come back to this conversation.
All right.
And he was a manly man,
Yeah.
and he gave me everything that I wanted. I had a basketball goal. I was the only boy in the neighborhood that had a basketball goal on the cement.
Did you want it?
I had asked for it. I
Okay,
did.
okay.
I did. I asked for it, but I didn't really want it. I just asked for it
Because you knew you could get it.
right. You know, I had
Okay.
I had the whole He-Man set. I had
Yeah.
I had
Tell me your
footballs,
age.
baseball. You
Yeah.
know, I did everything. I was in Boy Scouts, just everything. But that's not what I wanted. I was
Right.
playing with my sister doll babies.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let me ask you a question. Were you afraid to ask for the things that you wanted at that time because you didn't know if you were comfortable enough to come out to your parents, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when did you come out, if you don't mind me asking?
I came out.
And how did you, and how did you do it?
I came out. I was 19, a junior in college. It was because I met a guy, and I thought he was my soulmate. And so I called home, and I called, and I was talking to my mom, and I was like, "Hey, I think I found my soulmate." Da, da, da. And she was like, "Oh, really?" And my mom was heavily into the church, so it's like, you know, I was like, "Yeah." She was like, "Okay."
So
And
do
I
you
was
think
like,
she already knew at that point that
Yeah,
you,
she knew.
you
My
were-
dad knew. Everybody knew, but yeah.
But you had a
Was
supportive
it talked
family,
about?
obviously.
Because you were in the South. Like, what
No,
was
it
that
wasn't
like?
talked
It wasn't
about.
talked about?
But you had a supportive family though, right? Like
now
they didn't.
Now I do.
Okay.
You know, after I came out, I did.
Yeah. Okay.
It took some time for.
But that's
certain
good though,
people.
because a lot of people don't have that support, you know. And so that's another question I want to get into later about moms, and you know, because you have a lot of kids, and I want to talk about that. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
But my mom, she was sitting on the sofa beside my dad, and she was just like, okay, and I was like, his name is,
Ooh.
and she was like, his, and I was like, yeah, his name is, and she was like,
Did you purposely do that?
uh-huh. So after I told her, she was like, you know, she gave me the whole Bible stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, but you know, it is what it is. This
Right.
is what I like. This is what I want. And I was like, where's Dad? And she was like, he's right beside me. And I was like, you told him? She was like, he heard everything you said. And I was like, oh,
Oh wow.
yeah. So me and my dad, we didn't speak for like a year.
Wow.
Yeah. I would come home. All he would ask me is, your car running okay? You need anything on your car?
You knew the love was still there. I think it
Yeah,
was just an adjustment.
he just had to take some time.
Yeah.
Process.
To process that. Yeah. So
And I say that to say too, you know, because, you know, my family, we really didn't talk about sex, period. You know,
Like,
I
don't
was,
ask, don't tell.
yeah, we just kind of, I learned about sex in school. So my mom had found some letters.
Oh.
You know, the box of letters,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So like, found my letters, and, you know, she never said anything until one day I was upset. I was mad at the person, you know, a little bit. So my mom, she was like, I knew. So it feels good now. Like, it's crazy because my mom, I can go home and she's like, yeah. I didn't accept her on Facebook for a long time. But now I accepted her, and then she's like, oh, I'm trying to find out what LGBTQ is, you know, and
That's gotta feel
How
good.
does that feel?
it feels amazing. My sister called me, and like I really felt like she was the most homophobic person ever. But she's really not. She just doesn't know. She doesn't understand. So she called me, and she was like, you know, I'm trying to, you know, think about if I would ever go to a pride parade. And she was like, you know, my sister's gay, and you know, and it's just weird because we never talked about it.
And now.
Yeah, but to say that, Jasmine, everybody doesn't get it that easy.
right.
Okay.
And it's sad a little bit how, you know, things happen, but I want you to talk about how you're a mom, like Italy said, you are a mom, grandparent, and explain to the world what that means.
So I am a mother of a gay family.
Okay.
I have 17 kids, and 2 of my daughters are transgender.
Okay.
With 17 kids, the way the kids came about, or the way the gay family came about, is where people were ostracized from their family.
Right.
And they needed somewhere to go, you know.
Some
and so-
support, basically.
Support, yeah. And I've housed at least 10 of them, paid rent, car payments, gave birthday parties. Some of them have never actually sat at a table and had dinner with the family.
You saying that, like, it really, like, watching Pose, because Casey put me on the Pose, and
Oh
I've
my
been
God,
telling,
Pose.
I've been telling K Spice to watch Pose, but
I gotta watch
Pose, if you watch that, everything that she's saying right now is it really put things into perspective for me. So Jazz, I was so hyped when I watched that. I was like, this is what she was talking about. I want to call her right now and be like, you are the greatest person in the world. Because if you watch that show, you see how, like, these people who really just want to be who themselves, they don't have anywhere to go or no support, and like you gotta like really pat yourself on the back for like helping people, because they didn't, like Casey said, they didn't have it as easy as you did. So
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you. You know, the gay family, it means a lot to me. And I don't even consider them gay family. I just consider them family. You know, when my mom died in 2008, all of my kids were around me. All of them came down to South Carolina. Well, most of them came down to South Carolina for the funeral. You know, so stuff like that, you know.
that's a real family.
Yeah, it's a real family. You know, we spend holidays together. I get Mother's Day calls, cards.
Yeah.
We spend Christmas together, Thanksgiving, you know, graduations, just anything that.
You got grandbabies?
I have too many of them.
Okay.
Too many of them.
Okay.
So, you know.
That's good. That's really
The gay
good.
family is there for support. I've been with some of, you know, some people with sicknesses, deaths. You know, I've had some of my family members to die, and their actual biological mother had reached out to me and wanted me to help plan the funeral.
How does that make you feel? That's gotta make you feel good.
It was hard, but I felt like it was an honor.
Yeah.
You know, for that person to look at me and say, "Hey, this was a part of my child's life."
Yeah.
You know, it was, yeah.
Yeah. That's gotta be good. Like.
It was.
And that's one thing we always, you know, we stick together. No matter what, you know, we might have tension and stuff, but at the end of the day, we have, you know, we've always been judged and always been I'm tired of going to the store and the little kids looking at me like, you a woman. I'm tired of it. But, you know, I get it. I mean, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, at this point, you know, this is going to lead into the next question, because this is not on the notes, okay? Just
Okay. We knew this was gonna happen.
You know, and I get it. We don't want to. I don't believe in exposing a young child into anything about certain topics. I feel like kids should grow and, you know,
And be
kids. All right. But don't get me wrong, with today's generation, and I want to just be clear with this, with today's generation, those parents with kids, it's important to have some kind of knowledge for the kids, because they're going to see it anyway.
Exactly. So they
Social
can
media,
understand.
yes, Instagram, they're seeing it.
It's on TV. It's everywhere now.
So, with that being said, how do y'all feel as far as, and I'm not saying it has to be a course, okay, but there needs to be some kind of support in the school systems with kids that's going through, you know, of them being trans or them being gay, or whether some kind of support system in the educational field. How do y'all feel about having that support?
Well, I feel like, you know, like I have a son, right? And, you know, we've had conversations offline. You know, we have regular counselors. So I feel like it would be a good move to have, you know, counselors that specialize in kids identifying. My son just entered the 6th grade, and I actually had to call Casey recently because he made a statement and he just was like, oh, everybody's LGBTQ plus for 2021. And I'm like, they're talking about it like it's a style. Like, do these kids even know? Do they even understand? Are they exploring? And it's like, I had to ask him, like, are you LGBTQ plus? You know, if you are, like, I'm always gonna love you. I don't know if I'm gonna be ready to lend you my lip gloss and my bra and stuff, if that's what you want to do, but it's the process if that's what you want to do. He's like, no, like, that's just what it is. Like, it's hard to find a girlfriend because everybody's doing this. So.
And he's in middle school.
He just started 6th grade.
My point exactly.
So do you guys feel like, because you're saying that there should be some type of support system, and I totally agree with you with that, but with, you know, her child being only in the 6th grade and him already like being exposed to the LGBTQ community, like, do you feel like that's like a peer pressure for some of the kids? It's like either you are or you aren't. You get what I'm saying?
Like, when is it learned and when is it?
Well, I feel like you already know. You kind of know.
So pose another question. I think K Spice asked this question on another podcast. Do you feel like you are born gay?
I do. I
think
feel like
the same
you are.
thing.
Because, like I said, I had everything a boy would ever want as a boy growing up, from 0 to now.
Yeah.
And that's not what I liked. You know, I remember being in kindergarten and they having the little kitchen area where the kids play, and I wanted to put the apron on.
But
so you wanted to play house and you
Yeah.
wanted to be the mom.
You know what I'm saying?
But you wanted to be the mom.
I wanted to be the mom.
But does it? I mean,
No,
we
and I
always
just feel
ask
like
this question.
I looked at the guy I saw. I remember it was the little boy in it, and I liked the little boy. I didn't like the girl.
But we ask this question like, are you born with it or is it a choice? Why can't it be both? Like, is it not possible that it could be both?
It could be.
For some
I
people,
mean, some
you're
people.
born with this. For some people, I'm choosing. I no longer want.
But I feel like
Mhm.
if you choose, it's just a fad for you. It's just a phase.
But what about if you've been gay all your life and then you decide you want to be straight? Was that a fad?
I don't feel like you're
I don't feel like that ever happens though, and I'm not gonna say it doesn't happen, but I don't ever.
Donnie
really see
McClurkin.
that.
I mean, no. Hey, we're talking here.
Yeah.
Okay,
He
Donnie.
Sometimes that's
But
just for your image, for your
image.
job, for your he's
For
a
your
pastor.
family.
For your family, yeah.
But wasn't
So-
there like a reality show and the guy proposed to her and then it turns out that he was actually gay and they had clips?
It
like,
was. I remember that.
You know, so like, what was that?
I think that's just somebody that's trying to hide who they really are.
Yeah, you can't stop the feeling, and that's what I think. Like, I called my mom because I'll never forget when I was 9 years old. My mom and dad got me a Raiders jacket and a fitted, and I was 9 years old. When I tell you,
starter Raiders,
it was a
I had the
starter.
starter Raiders too.
but I was like, I called my mom. I said, "Why did you get me a fitted?" I never asked for that, and I did ask for the Raiders jacket, but I never. And the shit was so big, and I was just like, "Why did you do that? Did you know or something?" Because that was the best Christmas ever. I don't remember none of my Christmas like that, about my toys and stuff like that, but that Raiders and that fitted. Now y'all see I wear fitteds all the time. I love fitteds. I was my daddy's child. My dad would not go anywhere without no hat, and I just think it's just something I don't feel comfortable without my hat. But
you got good hair though.
I
It
feel
doesn't
like
matter.
gay people have good hair. Like, it's like a lot of gay people be having good hair. I feel like, damn.
You know, we got to try a little bit harder.
yeah,
You know,
Well,
to
speaking
prove
about trying-
ourselves.
But
you know.
speaking about trying harder, so you know you're not transgender, you're a drag queen, and then you have transgender. One of my questions was, do you find like the challenges are different or the same for being drag queen or transgender?
Well, drag queen, I only do this to make money,
Okay.
which is drag.
Right.
she only comes to the club unless she making money.
Security bag.
Right.
I ain't mad at it.
It's
Look,
about-
y'all didn't hear
it's about
that.
payment.
So y'all see her booked all the time. That's because I be wanting her in the club. I gotta book her in order for her to come. But
Right.
go ahead.
Right.
Before we went live, she was like, "Y'all taking too long. Y'all gonna have to pay me."
I already know my
That's
cash.
right.
I'm gonna get that request as soon as we leave here. I promise you.
But yeah, transgender is a way of living.
Okay.
And so, I don't live like this.
You never wanted that either.
I did. At one point in my life, I thought.
So what made you
I
change
was
your
about
mind?
to say these are good questions.
when I was taking the hormone pills and going through the whole process, it was the transitioning. It was a lot for me.
Okay. You
My
mean
mom-
like physically? You mean like physically?
Physically and mentally.
Okay.
Okay.
Living every day, getting up and getting dressed, because when you I guess a transsexual or being transgender, you know, people look at you as you got to be above the mark. You can't just be an everyday person. I can't just walk out there and go out there with no makeup on. And
So
not
that
dressed
leads
to
into
the
another
T.
question, because I think Kay Spice and I were talking about this the other day. Is that why a lot of transgenders feel like they have to be like over the top? Because I feel like as a transgender, obviously you've transitioned into a woman. A lot of women that are born women aren't really like that.
Right.
So is that why?
It is.
Okay.
And I can't speak for everybody. I don't speak for everybody.
Okay.
I'm just saying from the ones that I know and the experiences that I had.
Okay.
And even with my experience, with me, during my transition stage, I was going to the nail shop and getting my nails done. And I was going to the salon and getting my hair done. And I was doing the laser treatment and stuff like that for the hair removal and stuff like that. And it was a lot, cost-wise, mentally, and just, you know, physically on your body.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I can't do this. This is not for me.
Yeah.
I thought
So
it
you
was,
felt like
but
you
it
couldn't
wasn't.
be transgender because you felt like you had to live up to a standard that society wanted you to live up to. Is that what it was?
A little bit.
Okay.
A little bit.
And that's kind of fucked up.
But then it was just me personally. I was just like, you know, this is not what I want.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question, and I want to go back to our disclaimer because I'm about to ask it might be a touchy question. Is it okay for me to say I'm a real woman and that's not a real woman?
No, because the transgender community consider themselves real.
Yeah.
You know.
Now, is it real considered through society, or is it real considered like
I think
actually
it's
real?
what you
because
feel.
What you feel,
what you
and
feel,
look
yeah.
what the transgender community have to go through.
Right.
She just clearly said all of the money that it costs. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I mean, this is how they feel, and this is what they want to be.
Right.
You know,
So,
right.
you
And
know-
they're going to lengths, extreme lengths to do this. Just like, you know, the women are having the BBLs and all
Yeah.
those, you know, they're doing the same thing.
Yeah.
You know,
So, I mean, what is it about the real world? Because to like someone like me or someone like Italy, when we say we're real women, it's just the fact that we were born women. We were born with a vagina.
Some people say they're a real man, but ain't.
But if you,
I'm sorry.
Shit, it's some fucking petty ass motherfuckers out here. And they ain't no real men.
And I definitely agree with that.
Yeah, you get what I'm saying?
I agree with that, but when I say that, but if they were born with a penis,
And
we
but you
consider
can't,
them a
but you
real
can't,
man.
you can't really say that. Like I said, we've had conversations before, like
Right,
this.
because we're all
But,
friends here.
like just like hermaphrodites.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you have people that are born with the same sex. I mean, that have both sexes.
I'm
Then
sorry,
you have-
Brittany Grinder. It was. I mean, it's no shade. I'm serious now. I mean, everything about her is man. Her voice, her titties.
Lord.
Like, and I feel like I don't have no titties, but I have a titty. Brittany ain't got no damn
You have
titty.
to understand. I mean, at the end of the day, you were an athlete
Come
most of
on.
your life too. I was too, but I have humongous titties. So I mean, you know. But I get what you're saying. I feel like it's like
Something
the
it was
genetics,
not.
maybe.
Yes.
And I
We haven't
think-
seen
I
her
think that's what it
parents, so
is.
we don't know.
Genetics, you know.
And I'm not, this is no shade, Brittany, you're an awesome athlete. I mean, don't get me wrong. But it's just like, I mean, when you come and say hello to me, and you're like, hello? I can't even get that look.
Shut up.
Right.
She is low. Look at the interviews. I'm not even, and it's just, I'm trying to figure out if she was a hermaphrodite, you know, like,
Right.
you know.
So it is offensive to tell or talk to a transgender and say I'm a real woman and you're not.
Right, because it's all in the, I guess, makeup of your body and whatever you feel, you know.
I feel like it would be offensive only because everything you just explained that they're going through to try to be who they feel like they are. So I feel like at that point, that's what would make it offensive.
And I think that the transgender, they know they're not real women, as you say, real women or born, you know, but that's what they feel inside.
But okay, this is where it might get a little touchy.
Okay.
I don't always agree with that. I think a lot of transgender women feel they're just as much of a woman as me in Italy. And we've had the opportunity to speak with a transgender, Morgan Bailey, and she did kind of break down that she acknowledges I was born a man, you know, but you guys are beautiful. Like you guys should be honored that you're women. Like, and she acknowledged that, but a lot of transgender, like, I don't feel like they acknowledge that.
I think it comes off negative is whenever you're in a group or a different setting,
Right.
and you're trying to be negative, or you do know that's a man, right?
Yeah.
You know, or why would you have to do that? You know, because you don't want that guy to look at that girl. You don't want to.
And that's what I think
You know.
it comes down to too a lot of the times. Like I feel like, and I mean, I'm not speaking this for me or for K Spice, but I feel like I've had this conversation with other females, and I think they feel like, you know, there are a lot of women out here, especially African American women out here, that are like good women that are available for men, and some of the men are choosing to go with the transgender, you know.
Because it's something they like.
Yeah, and I totally respect
But you know,
that. I totally respect
and
that.
it's the
That's what
black.
segue to the next question.
I say it's the black community.
The black community, yeah.
That really put emphasis on that.
Yeah.
You know, I've dated white men, I've dated black men, I've dated Asians.
Let me ask you a question. What's your favorite? What's your favorite?
Them slick girls get me every time. Them slick girls could get every time. Them slick girls get me every time. Them slick girls could get every time.